And they are very special, and it's a very special year also for Unipost and Logistics. Post is connecting people to deliver the future, and this year we have our World Conference, and we have chosen this slogan because Post is affected by a lot of changes and transition. We see a huge impact of digitalization in our sector. Last time I was in Pakistan, I got informed that you have a new track and trace system in place on basis of SMS. In many countries we have a track and trace on basis of GPS and internet. But it's not only that, we have route optimization programs, we have chatbots, we have algorithms. So we have a lot of digital services and a lot of digital programs in our sector our people have to cope with on a daily basis. And we see a huge impact of e-commerce, with millions of parcels entering our networks all over the world, and with some new players also in the postal market. And in many countries, these new players do competition on basis of social dumping. And we as unions, we have to be very careful that we can keep our quality jobs and we can keep our good services for the citizens of our countries. We see also new services, and I know in Pakistan Post we have quite a number of different services offered in the postal company, like banking services, like life insurances, and so on. So our jobs are changing rapidly and require a lot of new skills and a lot of training to avoid any hire and fire policy of postal companies, but to give our postal workers the opportunity to adapt to the changes and to get the qualities and skills they need for the future services they have to provide. And all these changes created also need an answer from the postal companies. But what we are seeing at the moment in many countries is a change in the companies in terms of reduction of the network, in terms of centralization, hire and fire policy, cutting down the network, instead of reinventing posts for the future. And here I think our unions are asked to deliver the future vision for post and logistics for our workers. And I've heard and I witnessed many problems you have in Pakistan, but also in other countries, like the split of operations. We have now successfully in Finland against the split of parcel delivery services and the postal company. We have the split of the insurance company in India at the moment, and I know that you're fighting against any split within the company also in Pakistan. We as unions, we want to have a good plan for the future with training and high quality jobs and job security for the next years and for the next decade. So we need also to recognize our skills, and we have to fight for strong training programs. But not only training, in consequence, we need an upgrade and career perspectives for our workers. And I know that's also a big challenge in Pakistan. We have to fight it next years, that we have really to get this upgrading and career perspectives for the workers to maintain the good jobs we are having at the moment. We need a financially healthy company, so that means any split within Post is absolutely counterproductive in terms of we need to balance inequalities and shortages, and this is only possible with one postal company and not with several companies split. We have to have enough people working for Post. I know that letter volumes are dropping and many postal companies are trying to centralize their activities. But at the same time, we have new services arriving in our industry. We have a lot of parcels arriving in our industry, and by this, it creates a shortage of the workforce. We see that not only in Pakistan, we fought a huge fight in Korea where a lot of workers committed suicide because of stress, because of workforce shortage, and we try to really influence governments, influence postal companies, and support unions, national postal unions, in their fight. To win all these fights, we need strong unions at the table with a lot of experience, and I know that the Pakistan postal unions have a lot of experience, and you're currently working hard on getting more members and with that being stronger on the negotiation table. And we, as Uni-Global Post and Logistics, we will fight in support with you, and we, as an international family, we want to share our experience and fight together.
Excuse me. Can you please stop
Yes?
1 minute because our colleague translate your speech now?
Okay.
Okay, only 2 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello there. Hi there.
Hello?
Hello, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be the translator here.
Okay. So I thought it simultaneously.
Yeah. So since you've spoken for like 3-4 minutes, so let me just
Yeah.
pick them up, so that'll be easier, okay?
No problem.
Okay.
No problem. I can make more breaks. I thought it's a simultaneous translation. Sorry for that.
No problem. Okay. ये जो खातून आप मेरे ख्याल बहुत सारे लोग इनसे मिल चुके हैं. तो बेसिकली जो 2-4-5 बातें इन्होंने की हैं, उसमें इम्पोर्टेंट बात ये थी कि जो अगले आने वाले साल हैं वो पोस्ट के लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है. और पोस्ट करती क्या है, ये इंटरकनेक्ट करती है लोगों को. लेकिन आपके लिए ये है कि आपको और आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि कई पोस्टल कंपनीज ऐसी हैं जो कि बहुत कुछ ले आई हैं अपने साथ, अमेरिका में, इंग्लैंड में, और पाकिस्तान के अंदर भी जो आपका कंपटीशन है वो बहुत बढ़ गया है. अब मुझे याद है कि कुछ बैंक ऐसे हैं जो TCS के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, कुछ बैंक ऐसे हैं जो DHL के साथ काम कर रहे हैं. नेटवर्क उनका बड़ा है. अब यहाँ पे उस दिन आपके वो DG साहब आए हुए थे जो बात कर रहे थे, पहले दिन कल आए थे वो सुबह. तो उन्होंने बात की कि आप वो जो बाकी कंपनीज हैं वो बैंकिंग भी कर रही हैं, इंश्योरेंस भी कर रही हैं. आपकी पोस्टल लाइफ इंश्योरेंस अपनी जगह जरूर है, लेकिन वो बैंकिंग की टाइप से बैंक को इंश्योरेंस वगैरह भी दे रही है. इसी तरह बैंकिंग स्किल्स या लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, इसकी जो पूरी स्किल है, वो स्किल जो है वो आपको ट्रेनिंग के जरिए सीखनी है, और उसकी ट्रेनिंग्स होती हैं. फिर उन्होंने बात की है कि फ्यूचर विजन क्या है पोस्ट का, आगे विजनरी आपको बनना है. पोस्ट में 5 साल 10 साल में क्या देख रहे हैं आप उसको. उसके बाद 10 साल अगले बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इसके लिए. फिर मैकेनाइज चीज़ें और चीज़ें भी आ जाएंगी. ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स हैं जो आपको नेक्स्ट डेकेड में करवाने हैं बहुत सारे, और ये ट्रेनिंग या जैसे ये चल रहा है, इस तरह के आपसे एनडी बात कर रहे थे, और एनडी बात कर रहे थे कि वो एक चीज़ होती है, इसको कहते हैं लेवरेजिंग. ठीक है, वो कैसे करेंगे, उसकी एक ट्रेनिंग की बात हो रही थी. सिमिलरली देयर विल बी मोर ट्रेनिंग्स कमिंग योर वे. एंड देन शी गिव एन एग्जांपल. कोरिया में जैसे स्ट्रेस की बात कर रही है, वो स्ट्रेस के साथ कई लोगों ने खुदकुशी कर ली. यदि स्ट्रेस बढ़ रहा है लोगों के अंदर, वैसे इसके काम में नहीं, बहुत सारे कामों में बढ़ रहा है, तो उसको कैसे मैनेज करना है, अपने आप को, अपने वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस को कैसे बेहतर करना है, वगैरह. अभी तक से ये बात. Alright, please go ahead.
Okay, so I make more breaks in between, no?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So our slogan for our World Conference this year is, the first part is we connect people to deliver the future. And we connect people to deliver the future not only as a public service for citizens, but also as a trade union to deliver the jobs of tomorrow. So we need more. We need a vision for the future rather than just react on the challenges we are facing at the moment. And therefore I'm happy that the second part of our slogan also will be union visions for post and logistics. So we are preparing a lot of studies, a lot of support for our affiliates all over the world to enable us to have the discussion at the table and create this future of post. Where do we want to go? how we can use our unique network instead of just destroying it or downsizing it. If you want to translate.
Yes, please.
I don't know.
Okay. इस वर्ड कॉन्फ्रेंस की बात कर रही थी। साथ ये बात कर रही है कि इनका जो अगला आने वाला काम है वो है कनेक्ट और उसके लिए इन्होंने बात की है ट्रेड यूनियंस की जो बहुत उसका मकसद क्या है। ट्रेड यूनियंस काम के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। फिर जो है आने वाले कल के लिए वो जो है वो जॉब फॉर टुमारो की उन्होंने बात की, कल के लिए कौन सी ऐसी है जो जॉब्स क्रिएट होंगी। साथ फिर उन्होंने बात की कि यूनिविजन है जो कि पोस्ट का इन्होंने बात की यूनिविजन के नाम से। अब वो जो यूनिविजन है उसमें क्या आएगा, उसमें ये बात कर रही है कुछ लॉजिस्टिक्स की, ठीक है जी, ये बात कर रही हैं कुछ आपकी नेटवर्किंग की जो जिसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें आने वाले वक्त में आएंगी कि ये खाली आप ये काम नहीं कर रहे हो जो कि अपनी सीट पे ऑपरेट, कुछ लोग ऑपरेशंस में यहाँ बैठे हुए हैं, उनको और काम दे दिया जाएगा, ऐसा काम दे दिया जाएगा कि इदारा आपका और तरक्की करेगा। ये इस पे कॉन्फ्रेंस दुनिया में एक आने भी इस साल शायद बड़ी बड़ी बात।
Okay, so what we are doing currently, and we ask you also to support us and to be with us, is we have a study at the moment on digitalization and new technologies and their impact on employment. We do this study together with the UPU to figure out how do route optimization programs and chatbots, algorithms, and SMS track and trace systems, what effect do they have on our employment? Do they create stress? Do they create do they make our life easier? And how we can use it in the good of the people instead of just creating more profit for the companies. So we want to have new technologies used to make our lives as postal workers easier and to provide better service for the citizens. That must be the aim, but not in a way that it can be misused in terms of controls and to create more stress.
ये कह रही है कि अब हमारा जो टाइम चल रहा है उस टाइम पे अब आज के दुनिया में हर चीज़ जो है वो डिजिटलाइजेशन पे जा रही है और डिजिटलाइजेशन में उसमें ये होता है कि आपकी एफिशिएंसी आपको ऑप्टिमाइज करना है अपने जितने भी प्रोग्राम्स आ रहे हैं उसके लिए ये कह रही है कि इसको हम इसको एक न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी के तौर पे इस्तेमाल करेंगे। आजकल सारे इदारे जो हैं सिर्फ कंप्यूटर नहीं बल्कि अब आपने देखा है कि कई चीज़ें ऐसी हैं जो इदारों में आती जा रही हैं और जैसे कि हमसे बात कर रही हैं ये एक टेक्नोलॉजी के जरिए ही हो रहा है। ये हमें देख रही है, हम इनको देख रहे हैं, 4 घंटे का टाइम का फर्क है और अगर आप इतना देखें तो बदल कितने हज़ारों मील दूर बैठे हैं, ठीक है। तो इसलिए वो कई कंट्रोल्स भी होंगे आपके पास में, लेकिन उन कंट्रोल्स का इस्तेमाल सही करना है और मिसयूज ना हो उन कंट्रोल। यस प्लीज।
We are working on due diligence guidelines. We want the companies be responsible for their workers and have some strong risk assessment and programs in place to avoid any social dumping and any problems or misuse or problems with the labor law. Not only in the postal companies, but as you know, many companies use subcontractors or self-employed drivers, especially in the logistics. So we want to have due diligence guidelines for post and logistics with the involvement of the trade unions to assess the risk, to have a good plan in place to avoid any problems with labor law and the trade unions. And we want to have and support unions for having a strong postal legislation and regulation so that we can include social standards and environmental standards into our regulation. And finally, we are fighting against privatization all over the world. At the moment, we see a lot of threat of privatizing post, and we believe that a strong public service in the future can play a strong role also in a new society in terms of climate change, and not only on purpose should work on the benefit of a few shareholders. So we support unions in their fight against privatization.
Okay. अब जो बात जो की है बेसिकली रिस्क होते, ठीक है, ड्यू डिलिजेंस भी एक चीज़ होती है, सोशल डंपिंग में इधर उधर की जो बातें हैं और उसके बाद आपके लेबर लॉज हैं, ये सारा कुछ आपस में कनेक्टेड है। अब ये बात करिए कि इसमें इन्वॉल्वमेंट चाहती हैं वो ये ट्रेड यूनियंस की। ट्रेड यूनियंस को फिर ये कह रही हैं कि आपकी जो है प्रॉपर एक लेजिस्लेशन वगैरह होगी, रेगुलेशन आपके होने चाहिए आपके पास, ताकि आप मजबूत हो जाए। लेजिस्लेशन का मतलब और रेगुलेशन का मतलब आपकी मजबूती है। फिर वो बात करिए सोशल और इन्वायरमेंटल की बात करेंगे, साथ ही फिर उसके साथ साथ वो बात कर रही है जो आखिरी बात में की बड़ी इम्पोर्टेंट है, वो बात करिए प्राइवेटाइजेशन की। जो दुनिया के अंदर ना पोस्ट के लिए बात कर रही है कि जो प्राइवेटाइजेशन है ये बहुत बड़ी थ्रेट बन गई है। जब हम बात कर रहे थे ना अपॉर्चुनिटी की और थ्रेट की, तो ये बात कर रही है कि ये थ्रेट बन गई है प्राइवेटाइजेशन। ठीक है, तो अब आगे पूछते हैं, अगर सवाल करता हूँ तो आप पूछ सकते हैं।
And finally,
excuse me.
She said कि privatization के अंदर यूनियन को सपोर्ट कर रही है against the privatization.
So we have told them that you are supporting the unions against the privatization.
Yeah.
Okay.
We fight against privatization. And you are not alone with your fight against privatization. We are at the moment having we try to get a joint campaign, a slogan and branding on fighting against privatization in the US, in Brazil, in Chile, in Pakistan, in Russia, and so on. So you are not alone, and we will win this fight with strong unions and with a good international cooperation. And I think we need to be future-oriented, and so do postal trade unions all over the world need to be future-oriented. And your idea of creating a postal federation is the first step in tackling all the challenges of the future. In terms of upgrading of workers, in terms of fighting against workforce shortage, in terms of fighting against privatization. I strongly believe that only together we can win. Together, you in Pakistan, with all 5 postal trade unions, together as Unipost and Logistics, with our members all over the world, we make sure that we can win our fight and we can create future strong and good jobs for our postal workers. And I'm happy if I can maybe meet one or two of you in Senegal in June at our World Conference. And I'm also happy to come soon to Pakistan and maybe to witness the foundation of the Postal Federation. And I wish you now all the success for this training. And strong unions are a fundament of equality, of democracy, of workers' involvement, of good and secure jobs. And in that spirit, I wish you good luck for your work. I would like once again to emphasize that my door at Uniglobal Union is always there for you, is always ready to support you, is always ready to fight with you. And in that, I wish you a good training and a good conversation and discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, I'll explain the last and then we may say goodbye to you if you like. Okay.
Or if there are questions, I have still a couple of minutes to discuss.
I'll just explain them in 1 minute what you just said.
Yes.
ये बात ये कि ये यूनिक की बात बहुत सारे अमेरिका में, ब्राजील में, रशिया में बन रही है और ये एक पोस्टल फेडरेशन की बात कर रही है। ठीक है, तो आई डोंट थिंक पाकिस्तान में
असल में मैं थोड़ा कर देता हूँ। इन्होंने ये बात की कि जो बाकी कंट्रीज के साथ जो प्राइवेटाइजेशन की जंग लड़ रहे हैं वो पाकिस्तान को उसमें शामिल कर रहे हैं और वो इस फाइट में हमारे साथ है यूनिक।
यस,
नंबर 1। नंबर 2, वो कह रही है कि इस फाइट के लिए जो सबसे बड़ा कदम है वो ये कि हम पोस्टल फेडरेशन को इस साल कंप्लीट कर लें और उसकी फॉर्मेशन कंप्लीट कर लें। दूसरी बात, उन्होंने जो अपग्रेडिंग की है वो कोई मसला है, तो अपग्रेडिंग इन टर्म ऑफ एम्प्लॉयमेंट है, जो आपका अपग्रेडेशन का मसला है, उन्होंने उसके ऊपर बात की है कि यूनी विद यू और यूनी आपके साथ है उस मामले में और हम इस मामले में सपोर्ट करेंगे। और अब वो कह रही कि आपने इसके ऊपर मजीद कोई क्वेश्चंस करने हैं तो मेरे पास 2 मिनट्स हैं, आप अब कर लें। तो शॉर्ट सवाल करें, लेकिन आप जो करना चाहते हैं कर लें ताकि उसका मजीद
शॉर्टेज ऑफ स्टाफ, प्राइवेटाइजेशन सब के लिए बात की है। ये जो बात की फेडरेशन की बात,
करें हंसे नहीं करें बात
Any
अगर आपको
question?
मेरी बात में
Very
गुमान
quick.
है तो आप क्लियर कर लेंगे
Very
But
quick,
she
very
said-
quick questions. Very quick.
मेरा कहना ये है कि जो हमारा इशू अपग्रेडेशन में पाकिस्तान में चल रहा है तो ये बता
She, well, they want a little bit or more clarity on upgradation in Pakistan from you. From you.
From me,
Yeah.
about clarity about upgrading in Pakistan.
No, the issues of upgradation, there are issues of workers. So they want
I know.
clarity from you.
Actually,
I don't
actually,
get-
actually,
but-
actually
yeah.
they have started the agitation against this issue. They are fighting against the government and the management on this issue. So
Yeah, I know.
they
Yeah.
want to listen about the support of in terms of this issue on the upgradation in Pakistan.
I think we need to fight for fair jobs, and if people have worked for certain years in a company, if people have had training, if people have reskilled, if people are committed, and our postal workers are very committed to provide postal services all over the country, then there must be a gratitude to these workers by upgrading and by giving them a career perspective. If workers are stuck in their jobs and have low paid jobs, they can't provide proper services. And I strongly believe only well-trained and motivated people provide good services for the citizens. And this is what our service is about, is giving the best service to our citizens. And therefore, it's just a short vision and a short cost-cutting measure if we don't recognize and we don't reward people for their good services. And I think it's very dangerous for the Pakistan government if they are not supporting and not giving the reward for our workers which they own.
Okay, there's one more question.
Yeah?
My question is this: we have got to be a limited company. We are going to be a limited company, and our management says to us that we are not supposed to be going for privatization. We are 100% government entity, and the staff and workers will remain the government servant. But they didn't believe on their arguments. What should we do now?
So you want to have a limited company and the government wants to have the posts still under governmental control.
Yeah.
Did I understand that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So you want to have more freedom in the decisions.
No, Cornelia, it's the life insurance section. Government.
Okay.
The government wants to restructure it as a limited company, but they give an assurance yesterday it will remain 100% shareholding for the Pakistan government. So that's exactly what you think about this, or what they should do.
Okay.
If you believe this.
I mean, it's hard to say if I believe politicians or not.
That is not politicians. That is management. They are not politicians.
I believe that the life insurance, as same with the postal services, are not made for profit.
Yeah.
And as soon as we create limited companies or private structured companies, it's easier to privatize completely and to sell it off to private shareholders. And that's the danger of the whole game. And this is what we also have seen in other countries and in other sectors, like the railway sectors, where the government started to split companies and then step by step started to sell off the different parts of the company to private shareholders. And as soon as you do that, you create profit for private persons instead of the citizens or the insurance holders, and that's, from my point of view, a bad move, so to say. So I think, I'm not sure if we can believe governments to say it will stay 100% state-owned, but I think we should fight for it, because at the end we want to have the freedom of not a bureaucratic service which got stuck just by governmental decisions, which gets prolonged and delayed all the time. But at the same time, we want to have a public service which should be future-oriented and flexible in a way that it adapts to the citizens' needs. And I strongly believe, and I'm just careful with, as soon as it's privatized, this won't be the case anymore. So if this is what we want, then we will support you in your fight, of course.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
no further question.
Okay. No further question. Okay.
करें जल्दी
मेरा
करें।
क्वेश्चन ये थी कि अब हम यहाँ आए हैं या फॉरेन टूर पे जाते हैं, छुट्टी लेके हम जाते हैं, ऑफिसर जाते हैं तो उनका सरकारी टूर होता है।
सर ये मैं आपसे